Alright, so today I'll be showing you how to make a procedural galaxy shader just like this. You can control how many arms there are, how much twist the arms have, the stars, the colors, color of the core in the center. There's just a lot you can do with this. This is actually the shader that I made in the last recording of this tutorial, which ended a minute after I started because I accidentally pressed Control N to create a new file, and that is indeed my shortcut for stopping recording. So let's get into the tutorial again. Oh, I almost did it again. File, new, in general. And I will not be saving this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the coordinates to make our galaxy spin, because yes, it does spin automatically. So we're just going to add a circle, press F, and we're going to go into our shading view. This we're going to create the entire texture. What we're going to do is new material, just press Control G, delete that, delete all this garbage. And set this to shader. Now our output is going to be in emission shader, a transparent BSDF, add a mix shader, emission goes on bottom, transparent goes on top, and voila, we are done. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next. No, it's going to be used later, where the emission is going to be our galaxy, and the transparent is going to be the transparent part of the galaxy. Also, we're going to want to go into material settings, set blend mode to alpha blend, so it can be transparent. Otherwise, it'll just do what you saw here, where it just goes black. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is, oops, that is a brick texture. We're going to want to get texture coordinates for our textures, of course. And we're going to get a mapping node, and we're just going to use this to center our coordinates. So to center our coordinates, we do minus 0.5 on the x, minus 0.5 on the y. See, we have nice center coordinates. You just want that grid in the center. Without it, it just looks like that. Ew, disgusting, gross. I don't know why anyone would ever want that. Unless you just don't care about the coordinates being centered. What we're going to do for this is we're going to create a gradient that is a spherical. We're going to put a color ramp in. We're going to ramp it up just like that to around 2.82-ish, 0.3. And this is just used so it comes in closer. And now is where we have the twist amount. We're going to multiply this value by how much we want it to twist. Now we're going to add another math node. I'm just going to add the current frame divided by 100. And this is just going to add rotation to it over time. So basically it's going to make it spin slowly. Now if we just combine x, y, z, and we can set this to the z. Now we go into mapping, set this to rotation, so it rotates it, of course, and drag this all the way over here. And ta-da! Now have our rotating texture coordinates. And we can increase that to make it twist more. I'm going to keep that at 1 for now. And I'm going to group this together, and this is going to be our spin coordinates. I'll just keep things organized because the original file is very, very, very messy, and I don't want to expose any of you to that madness. So now we're going to to work on the colors, and we're going to completely ignore this for now. Just kidding, we're going to use it very, very shortly. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to have two Musgrave textures. Basically, what we're going to do in this part is we're going to create two like clouds and overlay them to make it to give a noisy galaxy cloud type looking thing. Set. We're going to get these values, and you see, that kind of looks like galaxy clouds, I guess. And we're going to set both these to 4-dimensional. Now, what 4-dimensional is going to let us do is it's going to let us give it a seed, so a slider. Look, these two are different, but if they're just both 3D or like that, it'll just look like that. And so we actually just want to have a seed value in general, and this is just going to be used to randomize the clouds in our galaxy. So we just take a math node, 2.5, because we want to offset this cloud so we get a overlap. So we're going to offset it by 2.5. Now we have our seeds, and we're just going to add these together using a mix RGB node. You could use math, but I'm going to use mix RGB for now. See, it's different from both of these. It's got a little overlap. And you see, if we didn't have that, look the exact same as both of these, just a little brighter. No, that is for something. And then if we change the seed, it changes. And you can set this to, you can set it to like frame over 100. So the seed slowly changes over time. It's kind of hypnotic, but we're just not going to focus on that because I don't care. So what this is going to be used for is nothing right now. We're not going to use it for anything. Yeah. What it will be used for later is the transparency, but we're not going to get into that for now. What we're going to do is we're going to create a noise texture. We're just going to create like a sort of foggy texture. I'm going to use this for the colors. So we're going to set it to 40, and we're going to set the W value to that, obviously. Set the scale to 20, detail to 16, which is the highest. Bring the roughness up a little, around like 0.675. Should be looking a bit like that, and then add a tiny bit of distortion. So we're gonna color ramp this, just like that, and it's gonna look completely normal. But we're gonna flip these. We're actually gonna make this like a light gray, because we don't want the colors to be too sharp. So let's just take two math nodes. I mean, not math. Sorry, mix RGB nodes, and these are gonna be for the two different colors in our galaxy. We're gonna both set them. We're gonna set both of them to multiply, and the factors to 1. Now the factor just controls how much they're influenced, and when you set the factor to 1 in a mix RGB, it basically just means if it's black and white mixed with a color, it's going to make that black and white texture the same color as the color. So we're just going to mix both of these, and I'm going to put this in here, put that in there. And I'm just going to call this one, galaxy color, and the second one gradient. Just as you do. And so where we're going to get this gradient, we're going to take, we have to make some circles first. But so we're going to add a mix RGB here. And we're going to drag it up, drag this here, and that there. This mix RGB is going to be a multiply, as always. Factor 1. And now we get to make our beautiful circles. So for our circles, we're just going to make a circle. Yeah. We're going to make a small circle and a big circle. The big circle is going to be used for the edges of the galaxy. The small circle is going to be used for the center of the galaxy. For now, we're only going to make the small circle. Create a texture coordinate. Add a texture coordinate and a mapping node. And, we're just going to make a centered texture coordinate. Just boop, boop. Good old traditional centered texture coordinate. And so we're actually going to scale down this vector with a vector math because we want the circle to be small. Smaller than ever before. And so we're going to have to do a bit of complex math here. Now, we want the circle's normal scale to be 1.25. So when this value, we're going to add a variable, and we're going to call it um, core scale. Okay, so when this is set to 1, it's set to 1.25. So x, y equals 1.25 when x equals 1, y equals x point. I got it! Just add 1. Just add 1. It's not hard. Add 1 and then subtract 1. Subtract 2.25. Sorry, not 2.25. Yeah, it is 2.25. Just set it in there and set that to that. I'm a genius. And this is set to 1. That's set to 1.25 because 2.25 minus 1 is 1.25. And then just add a gradient texture. That's a spherical. Surprisingly, we will be using spherical for a circle. And now that we have our beautiful circle here, I'm gonna group this together and call it the core circle. Now that we have our core circle here, we get to use it to create the gradient. So we're gonna put in a color ramp. Set this alpha to 0. We want it just all to be white. And we just drag this until around like this area right here. And this is gonna be once again the gradient for that. So we're going to have this multiplication here, and alpha is the factor, that is the color. We plug this in. It should, okay, I guess it looks like nothing, but that's because we haven't done anything with that yet, so, what did I do wrong? What did I do? Be stupid, that's exactly what I did. I don't know why you'd plug it into there, because this actually has to be black, so black. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. It's beautiful. We do not use the alpha until long, long later, like right now, where we plug these two into each other. We actually just use the alpha to mix them together. Create the gradient. And ta-da! We have this, we have this, and we have this. And we use the white to black in this. If we look at here, the white and black in this to mix these two together. Now we have this glorious thing. So we're going to use the core circle again, actually, but not before boxing it up in here. And I'm just going to label this as go. I'm going to label this as colors. Oh wow, beautiful spelling. Um, colors. Now I'm going to drop in another core circle, and I'm going to ramp this one, but not before. Drag it in core scale, of course, of course, of course, of course, of course. Just drag in a color ramp, and we're going to set this to constant. Basically what this does is it doesn't, it's just like an immediate transition like that. So we want this to be like 0.368. Oh yeah, well it's 0.368. You want to set this alpha to 0, because we're going to be using alphas again. Alpha channels are nice. And so what we're actually going to do is we're going to make it so we can change the color of the core. And so, as you probably expected, drag and multiply, set factor to 1. You know, any color that goes in here, it's automatically that color. And so you just drag this over here to create a new variable, new input. And we call this, core color. And now, voila, we change the color of the core of the galaxy. It's incredible. So you may be wondering why. So we can mix these two together, of course. Mix RGB like that. We have this on the bottom, this on the top. If we use the alpha channels from earlier, then that makes it so the core mixes where the core is, and then everything else just goes underneath it. It's just like layering. You could do the opposite where that only appears there, but that's weird. Why would you want that? Stupid. And I mixed the wrong one. I just realized we need the color from colors. I don't know why you need that. Ta-da! Voila! You've done it. Now just plug it into the emission. And you're done. We made our beautiful galaxy. No, we're like halfway through. So buckle up. We're actually almost done. All we have to do is we have to add the stars and then some scary multiplication. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add the stars. And so to add the stars, we're gonna get a Voronoi texture, and we're gonna set it to 4D, of course, so we can use our seed. And just put it up here, seed and W. You have to be like insane to not know that. We're gonna ramp it, and this is how we're gonna make circles. You can see, you can probably tell, you probably can't tell. Those look like circles. Like, those don't look like circles. Well, how about now? Like circles now? I know, I'm a genius. But if we drag a new value into the scale, we can call this star scale, so you can control how big the stars are. And so if we just set this to something like 100, we have a lot of stars. We have a lot of those. But why are they black? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Yeah, there we go. It's the other way around now. Set this to whatever you prefer. I prefer somewhere around like 0.35, like here. It's nice, much better. So we're actually going to create a star like intensity, and the way we're going to do this, we're just going to add a multiply here. And if we just drag this down, it just multiplies if it's there or not. So we use this to manage our stars. Do we want stars or do we not want stars? Just drag a thing there, and we just call this star visibility. Set it to 0. Look at that, look at that. It's perfect. Also, something I highly recommend, go over to here and turn on bloom. That'll be really helpful later in making it look not awful. If you don't have bloom on, it's gonna look terrible and set the background to black. So when we do go over here, it'll glow. If it doesn't glow, it looks really, really bad. Just trust me. So if we go in here now into our beautiful mess, we still haven't used these. I promise we're going to get to those eventually, but not yet. We're going to do some more multiplication, and this is going to control how bright the stars are going to glow. And we won't use that yet, but we will eventually. That's basically a moral of everything. I'm just going to call this star glow. We don't want it to be add, we want it to be multiply again. And eventually, when we do get to our emission textures over here, we're going to have a big one that controls the strength. So how bright it glows, and we're going to use that to make the stars glow brighter than everything else. Or at least brighter than the gases making up the galaxy. Now, we want to put these stars in our colors. Blech. So, take a mix RGB, surprisingly. Never heard of it? Me too. Just drag it up here. Take, I think it's here, or yeah, it is this one. We're actually going to set this to the factor. This color's in the top slot. You know, our colors of the core and everything. And this color here is the color of our stars. See? It's beautiful, isn't it? So we can actually drag this over here. Set this to star color. And now we control the color of our stars like that. Because it's adding whatever this color is wherever the stars are, using this as a reference. Now we are on the home stretch, because all we have to do is plug this into here. No. Plug this into here. Yeah. And we're done. That's literally the entire galaxy. That's all it is. But there's something missing. There's something missing, isn't there? It's the transparency. That's what we're missing. Otherwise, it's just a disk, a semi-transparent disk. And it's not even glowing very well. So what are we going to do about that? We're going to add that in. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the emission, the intensity and all that stuff. So if you just let me trace. Okay. So first thing we're going to want to do, we're going to want to take the core, and we're going to want to put a math node on it. Now, what we're going to want to do with this math node is we just drag color here. I want to do multiply add. We want to make it so the core glows 50 times brighter. And so this is our strength. This is our strength map. I guess you can call it if you wanted to. And look how bright that glows. But we want everything else to glow with at least a value of 1, 2. And then we want to add our stars on top, multiplied by how bright they glow. So if we set the star glow to 20, then you see they're in there too. And now we can plug this into our strength. And you see, core glows bright, stars glow slightly less bright. Gases are just gases. Now here comes the scary stuff. So we're gonna wanna move this out of the way. We need to make a big reserved space. Put these things called reroutes on here. Okay, here it is. I don't want to do this. First thing we need to do is we need to create a bigger circle. You know, I said we were making our circles earlier. We're going to need to make a bigger one. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to create a spherical gradient, as we always do. And for this one, we're just going to use normal center texture coordinates. Like that. Just hide all that. Nah, it doesn't fit with it. Okay. Uh, and we're actually going to color ramp this, and this is going to make it so the edges of the galaxy fade off of it. So we can set this to like what, like 0.3-ish, like 0.318. Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. Also, remember, you can always add a subdivide if the edges are looking a little blocky. And so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this to increase the contrast. So we're going to take a math, multiply, set it to like 6, 5.5, 5.7. And so it's bright, and then it falls off pretty fast. You know, just because you don't want the galaxy to mainly be there and then barely like fall off. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to add in a brand new color ramp. At least I'm pretty sure it's brand new. I don't think we've covered it yet. No, we haven't. Or have we? No, we haven't made the arms yet, have we? No. Okay. So we're going to make the arms now. I waited off until the end for good reason. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a gradient texture. Oopsie. We're going to drag the spin coordinates into it. Have I been... Oh, yeah. For all of these here, you need to use the spin coordinates. So it spins with the entire galaxy. Otherwise, it doesn't look good. And in here, you don't have to do that for there. And like, especially for the stars, you don't want the stars just being left behind. Plug that into like, I think that's it. I don't know. You can just click reroute like that. Put that there. There. Yeah, that was close. Otherwise, it wouldn't have spun with the rest of the galaxy. So now, if you see, if we actually press, well, it's already animating. Ta-da! Look, it spins. Crazy. What we're gonna want to do is we're gonna make a radial gradient texture, and it just creates something kind of like that. And if we apply a math thing called modulo, which in the last recording took way too long to find. You see, if we take a fraction of something like 1/2, like 1 over 2, it gives us 2. 1 over 3 gives us 3. 1 over 5 gives us 5. And so, in order to translate the amount of arms we want into the uh, thing, we're going to divide 1 by the amount of arms we want and plug that in there. And so, 2 is and 3. Just take that, and we can call this arms. Crank it up like that. I don't know why you want that many, but I mean, you do you. I will go with, like 8, 6 for now. 5. I will go with 5. And also with the twist, it makes it much better to see here. See if I said it's like 2 or 3, it gets more intense. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to use this for opacity for arms. We're going to make all of this white and make it all transparent. Put this somewhere in here, like 0.25-ish, 0.24, yeah, 0.241. And we're going to set the alpha all the way up, all the way up. And now we're going to multiply these two together. Basically, the reason we're doing multiplication, we're going to multiply the alpha, by the way, with the transparency. The reason we do multiplication is because it gets like the mixture. So if one area is transparent and the other area is transparent, if you multiply them together, they both become they become basically a mix of each other's transparent areas. Oh, I forgot to do something. We need to plug in a math here and multiply it by 5, just to make it a bit sharper. Otherwise it doesn't work. Otherwise it doesn't really work. Yeah, like that. And then we need to set this to multiply. I don't know why I was on that. And so now we have part of our transparency done. Also, you might want to start clamping these, but not a lot of them, because clamping some of them messes it up. But this next one we're going to want to clamp, where we're going to want to multiply in the clouds now. So we're going to multiply and clamp. Now we finally use this from down here. And you see it adds the clouds to the transparency. So now we're going to want to add in the core, so the core isn't transparent. Just take a, math, find our core right here. We want that. Plug that in. So now you see our core's here. That's good. Don't want that to be transparent. Basically, we have like 3 nodes left. So we just take this. Yeah. We're gonna want to add a math, and we want the stars now. We want a map of the stars, but only where the galaxy is. So we're gonna take the transparency, and we're gonna take the stars, and we're gonna multiply them together, so it's only where the galaxy is. And then we're gonna add that on top, so the stars are less transparent, but still only where the galaxy is. You can see the stars are there. And finally, we can put this into the factor. And we have our galaxy. Super easy. Look at that. Look at that. Mess with all these settings. Make like a traditional nebulous looking galaxy. Mess with the seed a bit. Find something we like. Tone down the scale of the center. Maybe add a fancy background if you want to. Make it so there's more stars. Make it so there's more. Make it so the stars are less visible. Maybe they glow more. Maybe so there's more arms. Then it spins too. Find a good angle you like and render. Maybe even add some compositing in if you wanted to. Add a nice lens distortion. That's gonna be. I can see. Jitter. Like a projector. Now you have your galaxy. And is it still recording? It's still recording. That's incredible. I have the actual tutorial now. It's over. It's over. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Yeah, this was a fun little thing to do. I haven't done a Blender tutorial in a couple years. If it gets positive, oh, by the way, I should probably say this as um subscribe. Yeah, that'd be a good one. I haven't done one of these in a couple of years. If the original project file is it's this, and it uses this procedural planets that I made too, and it's a cartoony procedural planets. So if you want to see a tutorial on that, it'd probably be multiple parts. It's incredibly complex, but it's got cool features like exploding planets, gas giants, stars, and other stuff. And of course, it's got seeds and all that, and even lights on the dark faces of the planet. Just let me know. But yeah, that will be all for today. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna wait until it's 35 minutes exactly because that's funny. It's a funnier number, but all right. Well, so how is everyone today? It's been a tough day for me as I lost my